But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and I apologise for being late. We were putting the worlds to right, but we're back here, fit, ready, raring to go, as is much of the Leeds United squad. As you can see, we have got the likely lads here, the regulars. Max is back, return of the Max. We've got JT.
Was back last week.
Yeah, I know you was, bro, but I just liked the return of the Max. Oh, I thought they were
just like Tupac.
Yeah, just like Tupac. Exactly, just like Tupac.
I messed up the bar.
He's in Kingston somewhere, isn't he? Tupac.
Like yeah. I met him the other day. Bumped into him actually. Yeah. He was a bit jealous though because he saw my bars were too hot. He was like, "Whoa, you're coming for my cred?" Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a lyric that with, but I can't think of it. How long would they mourn me? But it don't really go with that. I do like Tupac, by the way. So Tupac chat. We've got.
Yeah, I'm almost as clear as him as Lewis is of everyone around here, man. Look at this. Gets a job at the BBC straight away. He's got flipping lighting, headphones, microphone, boom arms. Honestly, man, none of this for months.
It took me long enough.
For the biggest guy supposedly around here. I mean, not literally. He's, quite frail. But aside from that, the biggest guy around here, he had the worst lighting I've ever seen. He looked like Casper the Ghost. His audio was echoing more than if you'd gone into an empty church.
I still look like Casper the Ghost. That hasn't changed. I mean, it's actually only emphasised it more, but at least
it looks good, it looks good. And you sound clean, man. You sound clean.
No. But if I get too close to it, it will be...
What? No,
I ain't got no cover yet. Bit of
Midweek Fix ASMR edition.
Yeah.
JT's gold, says Bully B. He is, isn't he? And he's wearing a nice gold.
Yeah, I am gold. Literally, it is gold. Beautiful.
Supporting those scumbags that stole Rafinha.
Why am I wearing it? I love Barcelona, man.
I hate them.
I love Barcelona. Plus, I'll show you another reason why I'm wearing it. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, man. I like that.
Back the boy, huh? Got to back the boy.
He's dead to me.
No comment. No comment.
Mate,
I just hate Barcelona and everything they stand for now. I mean,
nah. Yeah, look, there is that side of the club politics, but then, I'm a fan of football as well. And hey, thank you very much, Paul Cook. You as well, brother. You as well, man.
We'll have to zoom his camera out if his head gets any bigger.
Oh, man, it will almost be as big as Lewis's biceps in that rate. But no, I'm a fan of football. And, growing up, Barcelona were my team, man. Aside from Leeds, obviously, but Lionel Messi, the king of kings.
If you'd have said my chest instead of biceps, then I might have taken the compliment.
Mate, I don't know about that one, Chief. I can see your chest right now in there.
Nah.
Mate.
Lewis with his BBC studio.
You could have just taken studio off that, to be honest, and you'd be more accurate.
I love that. Max, you always just sat there just letting us think. How are you
just soaking it in, enjoying it?
Don't you? How are you doing?
That's not what you replied to what I just said, but all right. Come on.
Move on, Max, quickly.
Yeah, no, so how are you anyway, Max? How are you? How's your week been?
I'm good, thanks, yeah. Hopefully a bit of good Leeds football at the weekend as opposed to whatever that was on Saturday. Sunday.
We haven't actually been on this together in like a month, no? Me and you.
No, you've been walkabout. You've been going walkabouts. He's been.
Well, the results have been great in that time. The results have been great.
Are we getting relegated, Lewis?
Are we getting relegated? Oh, that's an hard one. I think it's October, so a bit early to say. But I think we're going to pay a price. I think we're going to pay a price for the lack of points in the last 5 games. But to say we're in a relegation battle in October is a bit, it's good for headlines and that. But
I think we're perfectly mid-table fodder, and I think we lose games that sometimes we should win, and sometimes we win games that we should lose, like Chelsea.
What kind of fodder? Would it be enough to do that new dynamic duo SBC that just came out? Is it enough fodder for that? I want that.
I've done that, boy. I've done
in
that.
The club.
Yeah, man.
Is it enough fodder for that? I don't know, man.
Yeah, but we're inconsistent, and that's what happens in mid-table.
Yeah, that was a beautifully awkward silence there. You know, I was expecting a raucous.
I've got Rodrigo. I'm playing Rodrigo. No. I've got him in my side. Yeah. Don't worry about it. He's in.
But should Jesse Marsh be playing Rodrigo? That's the question.
No, he shouldn't. Dropped.
No, not with Cine back.
Cine? No. Yeah, Cine Sorcerer back. So you're starting Bamford over him.
Yeah, every day of the week.
Well, should we start? I mean, Joe, I'm assuming you just want to jump straight into the. You want to start with Palace? Should we start with Palace?
Into the meat of the action.
Listen. I did a big video on it, right?
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts.
This is what I mean. It's awkward for you in a way, like to do. It's the same with me, like trying to do like a whole JT is going to jump on the whole Late Leeds show thing, and where's it gone? I don't know.
I actually liked it, man.
Nah, it's coming back. It's coming back. I just need to actually decide.
Needs better guests.
It's not even. I just need to decide. It does need to be a consistent guest thing. I know that because it's too. I did want it to be different week in, week out, but it's too much stress to not. So it's going to come back, but I just need to sort.
Too many rejections.
I need to sort my stuff out, man.
Feels like a
you got BBC
Friday
connections now.
I know, man.
People be having Ian Wright and Alan Shearer on there next time.
Yeah, but it's just hard getting people on. Like, people have got their own YouTube channels and stuff like that, man. They don't have the time for it anymore, so can't get the staff these days. But in terms of Palace, anyway, let's just go into the football.
Yeah.
First half was
divine, sublime.
20 minutes of it.
25 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah. And then yeah.
Come on, man. They had like one shot on target that entire like one touch in the box even that first half.
I said I said during my live stream, I said in the Premier League, you don't have 45 minutes as bad as the Palace defenders were playing and as panicky as they were, and then have another 45 minutes like that. Like, Premier League managers are always, for the most part, good enough to make a change that stops that. And I said, if we don't take advantage of it now and we don't score at least a couple of goals now, then they are going to get better and better in this game, because they are not that bad that they would play like that for 90 minutes. When they came out for the second half, they looked like a different side, and we hadn't taken advantage of that. And the most frustrating thing for me is that stupid free kick that Cooper gave away. He could have turned around and passed it back to Meslier. He could have just sent it down the channel and got rid of it. He could have just done anything other than try and do a Cruyff turn and then foul a player. And then that was on Sky. The stat came up: one shot, one touch in the box, one goal for them in that entire first half. And
who was saying? I think someone was saying that we needed Cooper there or something. I don't know. Maybe my mind's gone a bit foggy last week. There was a couple of people that were telling me, no, Cooper has to start. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining.
I wasn't there. So
we do.
So right. Okay. Let me just address that. Right. I mean, obviously, naturally. I mean, Cagey called me the leader of the Cooper fan club, which I thought was funny because I love Cagey. I was watching a video of his. But what I will say in defence of that, okay, maybe it is time now for Cooper to come out. But guess what? The board have fucked us over by not getting a left back, which means we can't move Cooper out.
Because Firpo was injured, wasn't he?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
So we couldn't. We didn't have. We had to play Cooper because otherwise there was nobody else to play left back.
What's happened?
Nobody knows.
Well, there was a blower to him the other night. He didn't mention anything about it, and then I go to check the team sheet, and he's there.
You've been bigging him up that much that I started to come round to this idea that actually he'd be decent, and then we hear that he broke his back.
Yeah, he broke his back carrying the team. What do you expect, man?
He's been watching JT's videos, and his ego inflated so much he fell over and injured himself.
The point I was gonna make, which I completely just lost track of before, is when I started talking to you, Joe, and then just got sidetracked about the Late Leeds show, which doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, that's all. Were you obviously doing a post-match review? You say all your thoughts, and then you've got to come up Midweek Fix and basically repeat yourself. But to be fair, sometimes it's good because your opinion might, because that's an instant reaction. You might calm down a bit.
Of course, it changes. It's completely different, man. It's completely different because with time, every football fan is the most fickle thing I've ever seen under the sun. By definition of being a football fan, you're fickle. Your views change like the weather. And then you come on here with a few other opinions, and as they say, the biggest form of ignorance is thinking that you know it all. You know, you can always learn something, pick things up from different people. And I don't like that little jab there, to be honest. That little jab. I didn't hear that. That thing that just flowed out. Nah, that was ringing around the ears, mate.
I thought you just left it. I was like, why didn't reacted?
Hey, man, I got to stay composed, innit? You know what I mean? Ain't gonna let me throw me off track. But no, man, I thought it was all right. It was all right. And you were saying about this whole 45 minutes thing, and it's always going to change. It's nothing new. I see people banging on like this is some new thing, like, oh, we didn't put them away, they're going to come get us in the second half. It's been like that for the past 4 years, ever since Heckingbottom left. We've had that, and I'm not saying like, oh, Heckingbottom was the savior, but even in Bielsa days, how many times I feel like a broken record saying we dominated them in the first half, we didn't take our chances, and then the second half they came back, they equalized, they scored, they won, they did something, and we just kept losing so many games from not creating enough chances.
This is the annoying thing, though. People saying that, you know, we're in trouble and all this. Yes, they can have that opinion, but the performances do not reflect the results in the past 5 games. They don't. Brentford 5-2. I came on here that week and said we deserved to lose 5-2, but we should have won. There is a difference between what should have happened and what deserved to happen.
If you make mistakes like that, you deserve to be punished for them because you're at the highest level. And
it's the same. It was the same against Palace. Villa, in my opinion, because obviously I didn't come on after Villa, had we not got that sending off, I think we might have edged it.
But really, will we have? Because I see a lot of similarities to that and the Palace game.
We brought Ayling and Firpo was on that game, yeah?
Yeah, he was. That's where he got injured.
I think if we wouldn't have had 10 men and we'd have had Ayling and Firpo on attacking those last 20, 25 minutes, I think we would have edged it. But that's if buts and maybes. And I just think you look even Brighton away, right? Even Brighton away.
No,
we should have scored at least.
We should have scored at least so many goals all these games. That doesn't change anything.
I know it don't change, but this is the point I'm making, that if you actually look at the games, it's not as though last season we were going into games and you knew we were going to lose, and you knew we were most likely going to get battered, not only lose, and we didn't have chances, we couldn't keep the ball, etc., etc., etc. Now we do actually have more than decent performances, and we just don't have. We lack that final. We lack the spine. Yeah, we lack the spine to stay up there.
Do you think if we'd have signed a striker, for example, Gakpo, who's absolutely tearing it up, do we win these games? Do we get those goals?
No, because we're not creating the chances. We need a creative midfielder. We're not creating diddly squat, man. Come on. You're telling me we created enough with the way that Palace were playing the other day? I'm talking clear opportunities, man. Oh, come off it, man. No, we shouldn't have been 4-0 up. We should have with the possessions and the areas we were getting the ball into, but not the actual final
keeper
killer
boots
chances.
it straight. Keeper boots it straight to Harrison. We've got a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And we wasted it.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. That's my point. 3-on-1. But what did we do with it? We didn't create the chance. That's not a clear-cut chance. 3-on-1 is not a clear-cut chance. A 3-on-1 is the part before the chance. That's what I'm saying. We're good at getting the ball into a dangerous area where we have the opportunity to. Creating the dangerous chance is Harrison taking it past his man, cutting it across goal for a nice tap-in. That's a clear-cut chance. We're not creating the clear-cut chances. We get into the good positions and we squander it time and time and time again, and we'll have 1 or 2 good opportunities. Like the one we scored, beautiful run by Aronson, gliding through by osmosis, as a wise man once said. But aside from that, what do? We waste the chance. We run it into a cul-de-sac. We cross it into absolutely no man's land. Hit the first man, hit it over everyone into Rose Head. No composure there, man. Aronson, is he composed enough?
I don't know. I think there is a fine line. All right, fair enough. It's hard to disagree with that. To be fair, going off that chance, it's a very fine line between creating chances and having opportunities to create chances. So yes, you can have the striker conversation, which I'm sure we will have, but then obviously you've got to go further down. You've got to talk about who plays behind the striker and who's playing wide and midfield. I mean, midfield I don't think is an issue at all. I saw something on the square ball this morning that was basically going against Rocker, which I thought was bizarre. Really bizarre. And look, the square ball, it has varied opinions and different writers, and that's fine. But that particular take, I didn't agree with. I'm not saying the square ball are wrong all the time because they're great.
This is getting spicy. Lewis hates the square ball.
Shut up, man. I love the square ball.
I prefer it when my balls are actually round, to be fair. You know, kind of works more geometrically. But hey,
that particular take on Adams and Rocker, or Adams being better than Rocker, or Adams doing all the work and Rocker doing nothing, I don't agree with that at all. I think
it was wrong.
Oh, mate, Adams is another one, to be fair. I heard someone say that he had a great game.
Yeah,
Adams was poor for me, man.
He was our best player.
Adams, that was one of the worst performances I've seen from Tyler Adams. I'm not going to lie to you.
It was his best performance in a Leeds shirt.
One of the best performances in a Leeds shirt. How can you say it's one of the best? We were invisible in the midfield in that second half, man.
Oh my God!
Come on, the guy lost it in some key areas, man. That was one of his best performances. I've seen some quality.
You're not watching this.
Just for the sake of going down a rabbit hole, right? And I'm taking control of the midweek fix here. I've got a big boy mic now. I'm Joe. Right? Midfield is fine.
No, what is it though? Was it in that second half, man?
For argument's sake.
No, look, I'm not saying drop Adams. I'm not saying drop.
I know you better know.
I love the guy, and you say you always talk about how you backed him at the beginning. I also, I was also taking a lot of smack, a lot of frauds telling me Kamara. Absolutely glad we didn't get him because Adams has been running the show. He's been probably one of our standout players. I'm saying, for me, I think that was one of his more poor performances. If you look at it, if you look at the way he looked a bit frantic in there at times, he lost the ball in key positions when he really shouldn't have. His delivery, aside from the pass he played through to Bamford, which was quality, and I don't know what the hell Bamford's doing. We'll get onto that in a bit, but
no,
I don't think that was one of his bad games.
Regardless of whether you think that was a poor performance or not, I mean, personally, I don't think he was bad at all. But if you think that was a poor performance for him, that's fine. But overall, we're not changing the midfield really, are we? Especially Rocker and Adams. That's it. Further up, there's a conversation to be had, and you can say we don't create chances, but we can create chances. There's so many situations like the one I just mentioned where it is evident that we can create chances. So going forward, what have you just what's going on?
Oh man, yeah. You want to put this up here? Go on, put all your stats on there. Put all your stats on there. Come on, Max. Come on, Max. Read out your stats. Reel them off, bro.
It's all right. I'll share.
Most duels won, most tackles, most chances created. Yeah.
I'll share it. I'll
show
share
the
it
wastefulness. Stats don't tell the whole story, mate. You can get stats to tell any story you want. You can get stats to tell a 4-page Shakespearean novel. It's not going to change.
Tyler Adams was,
and that's also a key word there. First half as well. Look, I don't even want to slag the guy.
What about Rasmus then? Because I thought that was his best performance.
I thought that was his best performance as well. I thought he kept Zaha quieter than a church mouse in that game.
I think it shows big character. The fact that he started really poorly and he's slowly got a little bit better and a little bit better, and he had his best performance yet against probably one of the most difficult wingers he's come up against in terms of how tricky he is and stuff. And I thought he did really well against him.
Well, he did he did an interview for the BBC in the week leading up because obviously.
Should you not be saying he did an interview?
Sorry.
All right. I have to mention it. No. I have to mention it for context though because I was editing it. And he was speaking. And
context. Who is this guy, man? Who is this guy? He's bringing all the legalities.
Listen,
context.
Listen, man. Popey asked how he thought his form had been since he came in, and he said, "I think it's been solid. I just need to work on going forward." And I'm sat there going, don't know about that. First game, you kind of got skinned, but fair enough. At least he's confident in himself. And then he goes into the Palace game, and by far his best performance in the Leeds shirt so far. The attacking, he does still need to work on, and at least he knows that. But defensively, he pocketed Zaha pocketed him. And I know people are going, well, second half he had a load of space. You know, he kept running. But did he do anything? No.
He did great.
No. He ran in this space, and every time he got to the edge of the box,
I'll tell you what he did. He disappeared.
Where did the quote come from then? Because I've just found it on Twitter, and I'm sure I'd seen it before. It says after admitting he needs to improve his performances, then it says Rasmus was his best player. So do you think he actually said that, or for a different interview? In a different interview, do you think he said different things? Yeah. Sorry, JC.
It wasn't. It certainly wasn't that interview, because he said his form. That was on the Wednesday last week that he said that. So
to be fair, what was the quote you actually said, Max?
It's not a quote. It's just LUFC talk on Twitter. Just put, after admitting he needs to improve his performances, Rasmus was statistically Leeds United's best player against Palace.
See, the thing is, I believe that could have been another interview, because the guy's probably
that's
like
why
15,
I was questioning
20.
it.
But then again, the way that they've worded that, you know, that's paper talk. That would just literally be the same thing where he says, I need to improve my defense. Like, you could literally be like, I think I have been the best player since sliced bread originated, to be honest, for Leeds. They haven't had a guy better since Opta-Stats have began. But, you know, there's a couple of things I need to work on the training ground. Well, after admitting that performances have been bad for him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that he needs to work on his attacking, and he said that he felt that in the Villa game he felt he was getting into the attack more, and then the red card happened.
And then he had to sit back.
And then he had to sit back. So he said that he felt that was the first game where he felt confident going forward. And I wondered whether that might have something to do with the Wolves game, and that being his first game, he gets
PTSD.
He gets a bit done over. I'm wondering whether that sort of knocked his confidence in terms of, right, I just need to stay here now.
So I was listening to the Phil Hay podcast, and he made a point, and I sort of have to agree with it, that we just don't attack down the right hand side. We just don't attack down the right hand side.
Yeah, I think the Athletic put it on. There's a picture,
and that's where we do miss Ayling, because when Ayling comes on, and he came on in that game against Brentford and got an assist and nearly scored himself, and we do miss that. And then I hadn't really noticed it up until when they mentioned it, and I thought, bloody hell, we never go down the right hand side.
I think it also shows how important Jack Harrison is still in this team. Is that a lot of the stuff goes through him.
Yeah. See, he were really good in that first half. I mean, look, the whole team, you can say this for, but that first half, he looked really lively. And I was sure he would get at least an assist, if not a goal, when we kept going forward. And it just seemed to be chance after chance after chance. And to go from that, not just him, the team as a whole, to go from that to sitting on the back foot and not being able to create and not being able to get out of our own half, it was like, it wasn't even that Palace really, in my opinion, started playing that much better. It's almost just like we were. Do
you know what? I'm going to put.
I don't want you to be scared, but
no, I'll put this to you. And this is what I believe now at this point. I need to turn that off. That's doing me in. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think Jesse Marsh is tactically inept and not tactically good enough for the Premier League, and he's been found out quick. It is so easy to play against, and I believe I seen a distinct switch when there was the concussion thing. And I remember doing it on the watch along, and Patrick Vieira's talking to Eze, talking to Elise's, talking to Zai's, ballers. He's doing this, being behind. He's doing all this. That's all they're doing. Jesse afterwards going, oh yeah, they were just chipping it in behind. Like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to change something? Are you going to try something different to counteract that? Or are we just going to continue going in this vein? I don't know what the plan. I mean, I just don't think he's. I hate to say it. I just don't think he's got the. For me, it's all
Pajaz.
Yeah, but no, he ain't got the tactical nous. He's got the pizzazz. He's got the massaging of the egos and reading Gandhi tweets and watching videos before games and all this sort of stuff and getting everyone going and the togetherness and all that. Yeah, great. But when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, when in games, managers are making little tactical tweaks, we have one of the best tacticians known to man at this football club. And it's difficult for me to see what's going down now. Because every man and his dog, I believe...
That was always going to be hard, though.
No, I believe, Lewis, I could put up a team, take charge of a team that will beat Jesse Marsh's tactics. And I know that might sound wild because I'm a div sat on YouTube. I get it, right? But I could say, right, what I want you to do is just knock it over their press and get them in behind. That's how, man. People are saying,
I think that's
a load of waffle, man. I feel like I just walked into IHOP, mate. Everyone likes to make it sound so easy. I could play for San Marino FC. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you go to one of San Marino's training sessions, you'll see their centre halves doing things you could only dream of doing. To say I could do Jesse Marsh's job, the job of being a manager.
No, I didn't say I could do Jesse's job.
Extremely complicated.
I didn't say I could do Jesse's.
But you said you could out tactic him, which
I believe I could.
Could you out tactic him? Could you have kept Leeds? Could you have kept Leeds up last season,
bro? Listen.
Could you have kept Leeds up last season? Now, out tactic him. Do you know how hard this guy's worked his entire life to get into the Premier League? How many tactics he's read? How many books he's read? How much all this stuff he's done?
You're not hearing me out. And I'll say it. The players kept us up last season.
And the manager.
Right, so can I just... I think you may be looking at it through rose-tinted glasses a little bit towards Bielsa because I totally agree with you. In the Championship and our first season up, it was like he's a master tactician and he just knows how to beat teams. But the only thing I'll say is last season when we were really struggling under Bielsa, it was like everybody knows exactly how to beat us. You pull the centre-back out and you run through everybody because everybody's man marking. But that's what I'm saying. So we must have to say the same thing about what Bielsa did if we're going to say the same thing about Marsh. And I think sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like against Chelsea, do you not think that Thomas Tuchel is an excellent tactician to be where he is in the game? And we were able to sustain that for 90 minutes. I just think in some games, Jesse's made the wrong substitutes or like he's not tactically inept. It's just that other teams it's all perfect in theory.
Come on, man. First of all, I got a big problem with what both of you said. Can we not just let the man be? You know, why do we always have to drag Bielsa into this? It's not fair on either of them. If you're using it as a way to discredit Jesse Marsh, it's not fair on either of them. And if you're using it as a way to credit Jesse Marsh and say everything wasn't as rosy as what Bielsa did, leave the man going on.
Right.
Why does everyone have to keep bringing Bielsa into it?
Wait, let me say something. Let me talk. To say it right. Firstly, to call Jesse.
Barry, go away then. Barry, don't say sorry. Just fuck off. Go
on. To call Jesse tactically inept is wrong and disrespectful.
Okay.
No, it's wrong. Then to say that you could out-tactic him is disrespectful.
Okay,
right.
I'm sorry, Jesse.
To compare him to Bielsa is at this point
very
unfair.
Disrespectful.
No, it's just unfair. It's unfair on Bielsa and it's unfair on Marsh. Bielsa's gone, man.
I'm not comparing him to Bielsa.
You are. And I saw a tweet, and this was way higher the scale than what you just said. But I saw a tweet the other day that said it was a picture of Bielsa, and the tweet said undoing all his hard work. And I looked at it for at least 3-4 minutes, and I thought I
probably liked it.
and I just thought, look, I love Bielsa bits, but Bielsa undid his own work by dying by his
Right,
own
let's
side.
not talk about the guy, yeah?
No. You're
He
doing
did.
just as bad, man. You're doing just as bad. Let the guy be. We
Yeah,
stayed in the
leave it,
Premier
leave it,
League.
leave it.
Bielsa's done a great job for Leeds. Let's
Mhm.
leave it at that. Why does everyone have to
Yeah.
drag it in? Because then you just have to knock one down to bring up the other. Let's just leave Bielsa
I'm
where
not
he is.
knocking- I'm
Stop
not
talking
knocking-
about Bielsa.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything that he's done for all of our lives, all of everything.
I agree.
And
but-
just
but
leave it at that. We don't
JT,
have to say he undid anything. He didn't. All
But
right.
I think he would have
I am
undid it
not-
if we'd have gone down and we stayed
just
up.
said
So I
he
think you can
undid
then
his
draw a
own
line
work,
under
man.
it.
No, listen, right? Because he didn't see that season out. So
Right, can
by
we
the
stop
time,
right, listen, let's
No,
talk.
no, let me finish my point at least.
Right, no.
Right.
I tell you what.
I
let's go
won't
back to the
continue
point
about Bielsa.
before
Right,
I went
okay.
daft and said that I could out tactic Jesse Marsh and all this. Right,
Right.
okay, I hear it. Right. I
Okay,
hear it.
so
But what I will say for other managers, that are tactically astute, they're beating Jesse every day of the week.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't always, do they? Because we've beaten teams like
Yeah.
Chelsea. Like we have had results, and
Yeah, one
this-
result,
this-
and he's been
Wolves.
sacked. Wolves are
Wolves.
shit.
but the tactics can work. Like
When?
against Chelsea and
Right,
against
one
Palace
game,
in that first
one
half.
game.
Like
Right, for 25 minutes that we lost 2-1. Next.
yes, but that proves that it can work. That proves that it can
Right.
cause defenders to panic.
Can
It
it,
can
can,
cause
it, can
mistakes.
it work? Can it work for 90 minutes?
Yes,
No, it can't. Bro.
Yes, you can.
it can.
it's
It's just
hard. Look,
the thing-
right, look, it's hard not. And look, right, we don't. You know, if you're gonna say we can't mention his name now, whatever, right? But it's
Right,
hard
but-
not. It's hard not to compare to last season because last season we were getting battered week in week out at a point, and everyone's pretending it's all okay. Whereas now we have
No
half
one
a
was
good.
pretending it was all okay.
Yes, they were.
Unfortunately.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
No, they
yes,
weren't.
they
I heard
were.
a lot of disrespect
Because-
from my man last year.
Because we were under Bielsa and because we were so used to, yes, we get battered, but we'll bounce back, everyone was pretending it was okay. So, yes, they were. Whereas now, we can
Not
play
everyone.
half a good
50%
game.
of people, maybe.
75%.
50% of people.
Now we have half a good game and half a non-good game. And everyone's going, Marsh out, he's tactically inept, etc., etc., etc.
Absolutely.
It
I
hasn't-
disagree with that.
It hasn't had... You disagree or you agree?
No, I agree with. I
Oh, you
disagree
agree?
with
Okay.
people saying Marsh out because of
Right,
45 minutes. Yeah.
But this is what... Right, so yes, you can say to me, oh, we don't have to bring Bielsa into it to put one down. I'm not trying to put him down. I'm saying I'm putting the people down. I'm putting the people down who are making the comparison. The people that are saying that Marsh is undoing Bielsa's work. Bielsa stuck to his philosophy. It didn't work out. It ended there. Marsh came in with his own philosophy now, which is what?
Is Jesse a good manager? Be honest.
Yes.
He is. Why? Tell me why.
What do you mean, why?
Well, why is he a good manager? Why do you like him? What do you like?
He's made substitutions and decisions in games that have swung the game our way.
Right, give me it. Come on, give me
When he
it.
brought Click on in
He's
the
done many a
Wolves.
game.
Wolves.
He's done many a good things.
We completely out. What you, Joe? Come on.
Last year, when we were in,
Do
when
you
we were
know
in the
what- do you know
fire
what
and
it
he
is, Joe?
brings
Do you know what
Sam
it is?
Greenwood and
Joe.
Joe Gelhardt in, and they
Joe,
save
I
us,
don't
man.
think
Fair.
I don't think you've even given yourself chance to warm to him in any way.
Oh no, I have. I'm joking with you, man. I do like the guy. I just don't.
Nah,
think he's
but
gonna
like,
take us
so
forward.
how is he not a good manager, man? How is he not a good manager? Tell me how he's not a good manager.
Okay, I'll tell you how it's not. Yeah. It's very one-dimensional. It's very easy to play against. Yeah. There is no. There is.
But we were
One
like
sec.
that last season, man.
There is
We
no.
were-
No. You're comparing it to the last guy.
I'm not
You're bringing him
mentioning
up.
his name.
I'm
I'm
not
talking
bringing
about
him
the
up.
team.
Yeah, but you knew what you were getting at.
You talk about he who must not be named.
Yeah.
First of all, we weren't easy to play
Talking
against
about
either season.
Voldemort, man.
To say we were easy to play against under Bielsa is highly mistaken, because if you ask any manager under the sun, they would have said, no, this is
Yeah,
one
no,
of the
but I
hardest games
didn't
we had.
say that, bro.
No, I'm not saying you said that. Saying
You're
Lewis said
implying
that.
because-
Second of
Okay,
all,
all right.
you counteract what you said.
Okay.
How are we easy to play
Can I
against?
just ask you a question and it
easy
doesn't
to
mention?
play
Can I ask you
How
a
are
question?
we easy to play against? I want to know how we're easy to play
No,
against. Because from
okay,
where I'm
okay.
looking
Sure,
through these
sure.
glasses, I'm not seeing any easy to play
Sure,
against.
can I- before-
Southampton, right?
Yeah.
Ralph changed it. Jesse had no answers. We draw 2-2.
Doesn't make us easy to play against.
Well,
They
it was
came
easy
back.
to
They made a
play
couple of good
against,
changes.
But then Wolves
Palace
changed. But
worked
Wolves
out
changed
mid-game.
their game. Wolves changed their game, and Marsh replied to that, and we won.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Wait, Wolves in the relegation zone and have had the manager sacked. Move on. Next one.
Okay, the last game. Were we easy to play against Palace?
Yeah, because they won 2-1.
Okay, but you were everyone was sat here raving
for 25
about
minutes, bro.
how we walked through them in the first half.
But this
How
is
we
what we're
smacked them
saying.
in the
We're
first
not-
half, and how it was one stupid individual mistake that cost us. In the
So it's
second
player
half we were,
mistakes,
but in the
nothing
first
to
half
do.
we weren't.
Nothing
Okay,
to do with
so
it.
if
Alright,
half
boys,
the
one at a
game we were
time,
easy to play against, and half the game we weren't, surely Vieira is easy to play against. Then is he not?
No. There's a difference with starting a game and then him going, "Oh, I'm going to change it."
Yeah, but that's not easy to play against.
Scally Whiskey. I don't know it all, bro. I don't know it all. I'm giving you my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, that's totally fine.
Joe,
Yeah,
I'm
giving you my opinion.
Can I ask you a question that doesn't mention anyone's name?
Yeah,
Right.
go.
So it's fair. Last season, were we not back end of last season? January onwards, were we not one-dimensional, predictable, and easy to play against? Yes or no?
What?
No. Answer
Say me again.
from mid last season. Were we not from mid last season? Were we not one-dimensional, predictable, and easy to play against?
Right. Okay. So my answer in response to that is for some of the big teams, yes, but we were, as Bully B's put in the chat as well. We actually played football and created. We don't create nothing under this new.
We never created. We weren't creating at all, man. I said it. It's the biggest myth in football that we've created a lot of chances.
Again,
and you guys all disagreed with me, even under Marsha this year. You guys were all saying, "Oh, we create so much, we don't have a striker to put it away." I said from day one, we've never replaced Pablo Hernandez, and in the Premier League last year, we didn't really have him. We've never created anything, man. We get the ball into good areas, but we don't create anything. That's the problem. It's not just a matter of not finishing. Ever since that first year under Bielsa, where we were putting some teams away, and we actually created quite a lot. But then in a lot of the other games, like I said, you saw a lot of Mickey Mousing around.
But
we do well with the ball and not actually put teams away.
Please understand me, right? I'm not bringing Bielsa or Marsh up, and I'm not putting Bielsa or Marsh down. I'm addressing the people who are making the comparisons and trying to make it seem as though we've gone from holier than thou to where we are now.
No, absolutely. And I'm saying that was part of it. I'm saying them as well. Why are they whether you're putting it into credit or discredit either of them, to just use it as a way to discredit Marsh. I don't rate that either. I think you should just let.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I wasn't trying to do that.
I'm not saying you were. Yeah. I'm saying another thing. Plus, we have to make a big difference as well. Is that, look, how are people trying to act like we don't almost have a completely new set of players in this team? The whole team's different, man. Adams wasn't there, Rocky wasn't there, Sinistera wasn't there, Aronson wasn't there, Christensen wasn't there. That's almost half your squad. That's completely different.
I think the new players are fantastic. Go on, Max. Sorry.
Sometimes the issue is that we don't take a step back and look at the rest of the Premier League. We talk about that pack between, like, once you get past sixth, everybody in that bottom thing is within not very many points of each other come the end of the season. And do you not think that everybody else is having these same conversations where Villa have got Coutinho and Buendia, these people who are amazing at creating chances, and they're just not? And I think it's just mid-table life. And I think maybe sometimes if the players were playing to the expectations that we're talking about of creating that many chances, of scoring that many goals, then we'd be in a Europa League place. It's hard because you're a Leeds fan and you're so passionate and you love the club. It's very easy for us to be in our own little world of, we want this player to do this and this player to do this. But if they all hit what we were expecting of them, then we would be absolutely flying. But we look at the teams around us, even West Ham, who you think they've got an amazing squad. They've had a terrible start to the season.
But this is what I mean. It's like saying, is Brendan Rodgers tactically inept? Is Steven Gerrard tactically inept?
No.
Is David Moyes tactically inept?
No.
Is Vieira tactically inept?
Yes.
But all these teams are in.
No, but
all these teams are
they
in
would
and
not.
around
They would
us.
not be.
No.
There would not be Premier League managers.
You're only watching. You're only watching.
I don't only watch Leeds, bro.
Right. So you do you think?
I've not seen his
then-
channel. He's been doing all these watch alongs now.
That's true. Do you think then that in terms of the Premier League manager pool, Marsh is in the bottom 5?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Is Xavi tactically inept?
No.
Well, he's
don't
about
watch
to get
him
knocked out of the Champions League in 1 minute.
Yeah, but let's not compare apples and oranges. We're being silly now.
No, I'm saying I am saying I'm not trying to like distract or anything, but this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
I just think it's
minute goals.
I think the biggest, the easiest comparison you could make is us to Southampton. You've got a manager there, Ralph Hasenhüttl, which people over the past couple of years have rated really highly and said he's come through the Red Bull system. He has a similar philosophy in terms of the way he likes to press and everything like that. They've got a similar squad in terms of standards of player, quality of player, how good they actually are. And they get similar results to us. And do you know what I mean? It's not, we're comparing us two is a good comparison between us and Southampton, and they're a little bit below us. I think we're about where we should be for the quality of our squad.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of it. Jesse Marsh is not the best manager in the Premier League, obviously, right? But he's. Are you enjoying it?
What do you mean? Well, where we should be?
It's not.
I tell you what, I actually do so. That first 25, 30 minutes, I really enjoyed watching that because I love it when we get up them. You know, when the crowd at Ellen Road says, get into them, F them up, get into it. They actually now go out and do that at the start of every game. And when Guaita is panicking and kicking the ball out, I'm getting excited. I'm going, Tyler Adams is recovering the ball. We've got it again. We're attacking. I'm going,
yeah, I agree.
This is good. I'm really enjoying this. It's just, I think if he can fix the fact that other teams are able to then come into the game later on,
do you think he can?
It could be. I think it's possible. I think with a bit of time with the squad, there's new players in there, players who towards the end of last season, I don't think you can even count the fact that they've learned his system until pre-season, if you get what I mean, because he didn't play that system, did he? He just played, we're going to stay up football.
Yeah.
And we all moaned about it, but it got the job done eventually. Do you know what I mean? And then I think from pre-season, we've basically had a pre-season and 8 games, and we're 14th. When at the start of the season, we all said we're going to finish 14th. I think we're at an equilibrium.
No. This is what I got. First of all, we didn't all say that.
We all said, but JT.
Why are fans? No, it wasn't even just me. Why are we accepting mediocrity? Why are we accepting?
Because
we're accepting realism.
Why are we?
Because we are mediocre.
Everything. Well, the whole point. When we got to the Premier League, everything we were fed as a club, as a fan base, everything was, this is going to be it. The whole point of getting Leeds to the Premier League was not to amble about in mid-table and then get relegated and piss far around for a few years. No, the whole point was we're going to build a new stadium. We're going to push up towards success. We're going to sign big players. Yeah, 5-year plan. We're already 3 years into that. We're 3 years into that 5-year plan.
It's a slow process, though.
3 years.
So just one, Joe, just before you go. Just one question then. Do you not think that by selling Rafinha and selling Calvin Phillips and buying those new players, forget Marsh, the squad, our actual playing staff, we are in a better position in terms of the footballers that Leeds United play? Do you not think we're in a better position now than we were last season?
Yes.
And I think at the end of this season, we might sell another player and we might then bring in another couple of players, and it's a slow process. We're accepting mediocrity for now.
No, we can't do that for now. The point is, you can't do this whole.
We're not
we
just
accept it for now. We're gonna finish fifth. We're gonna finish 15th. Lose another one of our best players, maybe even 2. Sign a few good players in that we hope to become like our best players, and then finish 12th the next year, and then all of a sudden lose more. And you can't do that like that, because the more you do that, as you've seen, if you do it like that, you're just going to end up relegated in a few years. You have to have some sort of immediacy. You can't have an 8-year. Forget Leicester and that. Leicester didn't have a model. Leicester didn't have a model. That would look. It was a 1 in a million thing, 5,000 to 1 odds. It was a crazy thing. It was a beautiful thing. I loved watching it as a neutral. But that wasn't some master stroke by the board of bringing this club in. That's the same team that almost got relegated the year before and survived on the last day. It was just a freak thing that happened where every other big team also.
But it's not a freak. It's not a freak thing.
What do you mean it wasn't a freak thing?
It's a freak thing in a knockout competition. But for the fact that they could do it for an entire Premier League season, that's when it's an extended.
Oh, you think that's replicable?
Period of
what are we even talking about?
Okay, so by that logic, if we were doing a Leicester, we should be going for it this year because
JT, right? If we stop talking about Leicester, let me just ask you, what do you want to do then? What do you want us to do? What are we going to speed it up?
Change the difficulty to semi-pro.
Accepting such mediocrity. That's
all right.
I can't believe everyone's
track it then.
Points.
How do we fast track?
Yo, bro.
What do you mean? How do you
You're on about stop accepting mediocrity while watching some of the most turgid football I've ever seen.
First of all, it's turgid. Second of all,
I said turgid, Jimmy.
He's a turgist. Second of all, I'm not. It's not some of the most turgid football I've ever seen. We've had positive spells. Some of them.
This is how we know things going.
Some of the games have been.
People are actually coming saying JT's making sense. This is how wild this show's gone.
because I am the only one that's actually speaking with everyone. Why is everyone like 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th? You end up relegated. We finished.
What's the solution?
Answer my question. Answer my question. How do we go from accepting mediocrity when we are mediocre? What do you want us to do? Go sign the world's best players? We haven't got the money. What do you want us to do? Go get the best manager?
We don't have the money. We made a net profit. We made a net profit. We made a net profit. What do you mean we don't have the money?
We made a net profit, and that goes on more than transfers. Like the club made a net profit.
So why
make a net profit on the transfer? What do you mean?
We made a net profit on the transfer front.
It's the club's money.
What do you mean this other club? I'll answer your question as well. We need to start as a fan base, start embracing the fact that we should be pushing on to more. You can't try and do a 10-year plan. Everyone seems to think that it's just linear progression and you can gradually gain 2 places each year. Football doesn't work like that because the next year you'll play completely different thing and you'll fall straight down. If there isn't a certain amount of immediacy to get yourself, the only way we're going to get more money to invest more is by finishing higher up the table, finishing within Europe, getting that European money and then investing that more into it. If we don't look at what Newcastle,
I agree, but we can't.
Newcastle, since Eddie Howe's taken over, only 4 they have picked up the 5th most points in the Premier League since Eddie Howe's taken over. That's how you start to build a team up and do the things that they've promised us. You don't do this whole ambling around. Yeah, I said obviously we're not going to be able to do it as much. Yeah, which is why if you actually listened and stopped trying to chime in the British club, I said we're not going to be able to do it the same way as them, but we can, maybe we won't pick up the 5th most points.
But that's the only way to do it that fast.
They haven't. But it's not like they've spent, apart from Isaac, they haven't spent ludicrous.
What are you saying, man? If everyone starts coming out like you I'm
not saying everyone comes out like me. I'm not saying everyone has to do things.
If everyone starts coming out like you in league predictions at start season and goes, we're going to finish 3rd.
I think league predictions are going to change where we are. That's real slick, mate. No, what I'm saying is, why are people accepting such mediocre?
Because we are mediocre. People are being real.
It's not being real, but why are people saying, I'm happy to finish 15th, I'm happy to finish 14th,
We're not
and
happy
thinking
to
that
that's
15th.
Okay,
my point is, in 3-5 years, do you see us / do you want us to become European within the European places?
Yes.
So you see us, you see us being in the European places in 3 to 5 years.
Want us. You said /want us.
Okay,
yes,
do you see us being there?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
You see that as part of our vision, as part of our plan, as a club. Do you
all
see
I can see, all I can see
in terms of where the club want to be. Yes.
Okay, but do they want to? Is finishing 14th wanting to be there? Is it going to be? Is that going to be possible if we keep finishing 14th, 15th, 12th, ambling about that?
But we don't know. We're going to keep finishing 15th.
But you're not going to be able to build anything finishing.
It's not how the Premier League works, is it? Because I agree with you, JT, on a level that, say, Wolves had a plan to do exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, and they got to Europe within 3 years.
Yes, and now look at them, and they're flopping around in mid-table again. And
because they're Wolves.
They had like a moment of greatness, and then they're back down again. But I think that we're trying to plan more long-term, but it's just like we could have spent a load of money on a new striker that we didn't want. But they said... But we would have just been spending money for the sake of spending money if we didn't get the actual transfer we want. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that they say, this is the player we want. I'm not just going to buy any dickhead.
No. I'm not letting them get away with that because the only reason they did it is because Rodrigo and Bamford got injured. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even entered for a striker. It was nothing to do with them being smart on the choices, because they tried to get Bamba Dieng, who we were never had a link with, and ended up with a young kid from bloody...
We should have signed Gakpo. We messed that one up.
Yeah, because they tried to do it in the last 24 hours, so I'm not... I tell you who's to blame for it all. For it all. He's Radrazani. That's facts, I'm telling you. He's to blame for it all. I don't care. Oh, but all these habits... Yeah... I see it on Facebook today. Someone put a picture of Bates on saying, remember they. So what? We're talking about the here and now. Forget that. The person who's put us in the shit and could well put us in the shit again is that man, because what didn't he do? He didn't get a left back, which means we can't play our best defender at left centre back because he's playing at left back. And our best striker, Patrick Bamford, can't be relied upon because he's not fully fit. And he can only play 60 minutes. If we'd have got a striker in, guess what? We could have nursed him back to health. Go on, Max, sorry.
So does that not give you some sort of reason why Marsh has struggled in some of these games? Because he's not been backed in terms of the players and the personnel that he needed. He's got a centre-back playing left-back, and he's got a striker who, when he's on, makes us look 10 times better. But when he's off, we look clueless sometimes. So do you think that plays into the fact that teams are able to come back against us because his tactics involve a marauding left and right back being the width of the team, and we've got a centre back playing on one side and one guy who's scared because he's made a couple of mistakes? So do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a mixture of things why we are mediocre at the moment. It's a mixture of the fact that we weren't backed in the transfer. We were backed in the transfer window. We bought some really good players, but we just didn't buy a striker and a left back, which is two of the main three targets that we had.
He had a huge job on his hands in more ways than one. Coming in 3 months before he was meant to come in, following in Bielsa's footsteps, having to bring in a lot. No, it's true, because people were devoted to Bielsa, so having to come in after such a big figure is it's a hard job. And then having to bring a lot of new players, having to implement a new system.
Do you know where it's going to go? And remember, I all told you this, yeah? People are doing mental gymnastics at the minute trying to support Jesse, and I understand it, because they want to be Bielsa go. So it's like, yo, I've got to really back this guy. I've got to really got to go to the end of the earth to back this guy. I don't think we'll get many wins between now and the World Cup. And I believe the noise around... I can hear some echo off someone's mic. I could hear it off Max as well. Some dodginess is going down. I can hear myself. Why is it doing that?
Yeah, I can also hear the echo.
There, it's gone now. No, it's there. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. But what I'm saying is, right, between now and the World Cup, I don't think we're going to win many games, folks. I don't. And I think the noise will come out for him to be leaving. And whether or not they will or not, but I think there will start to be noise. It probably might be led by me.
No, but I did say at the start of this live stream that we will pay a price for the lack of points in the last 5 games. And that you know, I can argue the toss all day about the performances haven't reflected the results. I will stand by that. I don't think they have. But I don't think they have at all. I think we should.
Where else should we have got points?
Brentford,
Palace.
We got beat 5-2, man.
Yeah, because our centre-back just decided he was going to make 3 awful mistakes and let them score.
We basically said, "Go on,
you go."
Yeah, but that's what happened the whole last year as well. Was just
sure. We're not saying where we deserve to get points. We're saying where we should have.
Tell me where we should have got points.
But deserving and should have are the same things, man.
No, it's not. We should have beaten Brentford.
How they not?
Because
if you don't deserve something, then should you have it?
We lost 5-2.
That's like, what do you mean?
The way we managed, the way we
managed the game, we lost 5-2, bro.
Oh, I don't deserve to have a six-pack because I've never walked into the gym, but I should have one.
One player.
Right. No. So no.
Palace, silly mistakes.
No,
Should have taken
Palace.
point.
No,
We should have
we
taken a
didn't
point
deserve
at least.
nothing from Palace because we played well for 25 minutes.
But my point is, why is this always pinned on the manager? The manager showed enough. Why are the players not going to take any responsibility? Why, whenever we do something well, the players always get
Anyway.
Even with the Southampton game, I'm not letting people have that, and I'll tell you for the reasons as to why. Because Ralph Hasenhüttl changed his system back to the 4-2-2, and guess what? The manager had no answer. He had no answer.
Then when that happened, you guys were saying it was all because of the weather. The weather.
The weather.
When we were talking about it, you guys were all like, "Oh, it's so
It was dead
sunny,
hot.
man." They were all tired because of the weather.
Who said that?
You guys all of you were like that.
man.
Do you want to go back to that? Because you guys have actually forgotten the game. You said because you didn't make
the
any
weather.
changes, and
Who
they
do
were
you
all
think I am,
dehydrated.
Ty?
No, you
I
guys
think
were.
it was
You guys
because it
were
was the
saying it was
hottest.
so sunny, and they were
Somebody said it was
dehydrated.
because it was the hot, not because it was sunny, because it was the hottest day of the year, and
Exactly.
Our
You
players
guys
had
were all
been running
banging
the
on
pan out
about
and
how
they
the
got
weather
knackered,
was affecting
basically.
concentration and that. And you want to mug me off? Go back on the midweek fix after that game, and you'll see exactly what.
Look,
I'm talking
regardless. Anyway, let me finish my point. Regardless of, I can sit here and argue the toss about whether I think the performances reflected the results, whatever. It doesn't matter. The next 6 games, we've got Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs in those 6. We've got Newcastle. Oh no, we aren't. Newcastle's New Year's Eve. We've got Bournemouth, Fulham, and Leicester. Right? Bournemouth, Fulham, Leicester. If we ain't taking 9 points, then I will sit here and go.
Oh, we are up that.
Going into World Cup, we're not in trouble, but there is a conversation to be had about where we're going to end up.
12 points.
No, but
That's
we've
what I'm
got
saying,
to beat them, Max. We've got to beat them.
Oh,
We
mate, if we
have
don't
to
beat
beat
Bournemouth,
them.
we are
I'm just trying
done
to say-
out here,
Look,
bro.
I'm not
There's no
saying
easy
that
games, is
Bournemouth.
all I'm saying.
Yes,
No, I
yes,
know, but we've got to beat them.
I'm not
bro.
saying
Palace
that
was
Bournemouth-
an easy game. Villa
I'm
was
not
an easy
saying
game.
that Bournemouth and Fulham are pushovers because they're not. But I'm saying
They are.
out of those 6,
No, I'm telling you, they are. If we don't beat Fulham, if we don't beat Bournemouth, we're chalked. Okay,
Remember
I don't know.
I
Everyone,
told you,
it's
I know, but
it's
they're not-
Bournemouth.
they're not-
It is Fulham.
but they're not pushovers, man. They're doing well.
They
this
should be
season, is what I'm saying.
pushovers. is
So
my
for
point.
what-
If
they're
they're
not,
not
but they're not.
pushovers, then
So
we've got a
out
big
of-
problem on our
so-
hands.
I don't think
Liverpool-
we'll beat Leicester, and Leicester are shite.
Liverpool,
season.
Arsenal, Spurs. Realistically, we're not taking out from those games. We could beat Arsenal this Sunday. Who knows, right?
We
But
will
really,
beat
on
Arsenal.
paper, I know, but you never know. But on
If
paper,
we
we're
beat
not.
Arsenal on Sunday, yeah? If we beat Arsenal on Sunday, right?
Go on.
I will get a
By
tattoo.
Jesse Marsh.
I will get a tattoo of I will get a Jesse written on my arm here if we beat Arsenal
Oh,
on
mate,
Sunday.
you got to get Marsh written in your arm instead.
Marsh. I'll get Marsh written on my arm. I will get
you
a
hearing
tattoo
that?
if we
You
beat
hearing
them.
that?
If we beat them.
Just
I
do
will
it.
go and
just-
get a tattoo to say
And if we
Marsh.
don't beat them, I will come on here and I will do a ghost chili.
Not on your
No,
arm.
there you
Not
go.
on your
Chili.
arm. It has to be on your leg.
What,
It has to be
mine?
on your, yeah, it has to be on your leg.
Is it a joke about
right
marching?
next to Bielsa.
It's
I know you said you're going to put it
It's not
like
going
this.
next
It's like
to the
March.
It's not going next to the gig.
Yeah, I think the next 6 games are pivotal because obviously then we have that World Cup break. I think now, and this is my opinion, it's fine. Now we're sort of, in my opinion, halfway there to get into where Marsh wants to be. Every game we see it work and then it disappears and then we let ourselves go. That's what's happening every game at the moment. Brentford it happened, Palace it happened, Villa we got a red card. We actually managed that game quite well after that red card, I thought. And it's game after game after game where we can't seem to have that final 50-25%. So I
He's
think
barely been in the job.
right, but this one. So the next 6 games going into that World Cup break, yes, we've got Arsenal, yes, we've got Liverpool, yes, we've got Spurs. On paper, we don't set note from those. We might do, but on paper, we don't. Bournemouth, Fulham, Leicester. We need wins. It doesn't matter how far along his plan is. It doesn't matter what my opinions are of him, whether I like him, whether I want to give him a chance, whether I recognise that he's halfway to where he wants to be. What matters is results. It's a results-based business. His job will be in jeopardy if he doesn't have the points on the board by the time we go into that break. And that's just facts. That's how football works. Opinions don't matter at that point. We do need results. 2 points out of the last 5 games is dreadful.
Yeah.
It's dreadful.
think-
The performances I don't think have been bad, but
Because-
We've
Think
also
of-
got to
think
pick
about
something
this
up
as well.
against one of those 3 as well.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Think
yes.
about this
If
as
we
well.
get 0
statement-wise.
points out of 9 out of those 3 big ones,
statement-wise, I agree. But on
but
paper,
not just
we don't.
statement-wise, but as a team lower down, you've got to be able to pick something up against these
Yeah,
big
we've got to pick
teams.
some. Do you know what? I would argue
You've got to be able
Liverpool.
to
They've
beat
been
someone.
terrible. They've been terrible, Liverpool.
Maybe.
But I still don't have no confidence. I would argue maybe get some.
Yeah, but
against
Liverpool always turn up against us, man. I'm feeling Arsenal, man. I'm feeling it.
But what I'll say, I mean, yeah, of course, Malk Van, who says, wasn't it Joe said Chelsea would stuff us? Yeah, I did. What's that? Because I thought.
Oh, wait, no, we already beat. Oh, yeah, we beat you. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The good thing about Arsenal.
There's nothing in that, though. I don't care about that. What kind of things that? Well, Joe said we get beat, so what
the
you
good thing about Arsenal on Sunday is, though,
like, I don't get it.
They'll come and play. That's the good thing about Arsenal
exactly.
Sunday.
Yeah.
They will come and play. And Chelsea did that.
Also,
I'm not comparing Arsenal to Chelsea, but
I just made a tactical preview about that Arsenal game and the way that we can get at them. But it relies on us playing at our absolute best. You know, like against Chelsea, we were just really clinical. All our passes seemed to hit the target, seemed to hit the men, and it just happened perfectly. I think it's possible to do that against Arsenal because they leave two centre-backs on their own at the back, and the left-back and right-back go and tuck in as like basically centre-mids, the same way that City do with Cancelo. They leave two at the back. And so if you can get Brendan Aronson, Jack Harrison, Bamford and Sinisterra on a counter-attack and get those two isolated, there are chances to get in behind Arsenal. But
Saliba's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League.
Yes, but even then, when you've got an overload,
get a camera on him in the changing room before the game, and we'll be all right.
Oh, do you know what? You know what? I'm like, I know it sounds really bad, but I'm low key just looking. I'm looking forward to hearing that chant. I don't know, some opposition chants. Yeah, some opposition chants are just like the Coutinho chant. It's just like.
Can I say something to you though, lads? Right.
No.
I know, Malk. I know it's tongue cheek, bro. Don't worry.
Not on the show of speaking.
No, but if we look at this is what I'm worried about as well moving forward. Because as you can tell, I'm quite negative at the minute. Some of the stuff I've said probably I don't really mean tonight.
Really?
You know what I mean? It's just
I thought you were quite positive.
I'm just quite pissed. I have been since the weekend. But the teams that we have played, right? Everton, Brighton, Chelsea, Southampton, Wolves.
Poor teams.
Brentford.
We've had the easiest run.
Palace, Villa. We've not played West Ham, Newcastle, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs. All these teams. We've had quite an easy run. And that's another thing that's concerning because guess what? Southampton, Wolves in a relegation battle. Everton are a decent side, but still a team we should be beating. Villa down in a relegation battle. Palace and had the best start. What about when we then get a run of all them top teams? Then what are we going to do? This is what's worrying me as well.
Smack them.
Do you understand where my worries are, though?
Oh, no, I understand where your worries are.
But on the flip side of that, right, the mad thing is that all the games we've had,
fantastic side. Yeah.
The mad thing is that all the games we have had, the best win and the highest scoring win was against one of the big boys.
But they've had the manager sacked.
I get that. But I just think we will fare better against teams that actually come and play. Everyone who's come to Ellen Road this season has spent 50% of the game on the floor.
Yeah.
Because they know that coming
here... Does that not mean we're not easy to play against then?
Yes, in a way, yeah, because they know that they know that.
But you're saying whenever teams come to try and play football against us, that's our biggest chance. So that is quite literally the opposite of being easy to play against. Is if every time you try and come and play football against us, you get run over.
No. It's easier to play against whoever we're playing.
No. But what I was hearing at the beginning was what we were having the first argument about is that Jesse Marsh's team is easy to play against. And my point is, we're not. I know you didn't say that. I know you didn't say that. It was in the ecosphere. It was Joe. It was in the atmosphere. And I'm saying, if what people are saying, what is that whenever teams try to play football against us, they leave themselves vulnerable and we're in with a good shot. Surely that means we're actually very hard to play against, and that the only way to counteract that is by playing anti-football.
Yeah,
which is easy.
And then we do then struggle to break down teams when they do sit back and they sit on the edge of the own box.
Midfielder.
But if you look at the likes of Everton and Wolves, we beat Wolves, but only just. They both, and I'm sure there's been more teams as well that have played with three at the back with wing backs and just sat in, and they've got so many people at the back just to stop us, just to soak up the pressure and then go on the counter attack and score. And I do feel like we struggle to come up with ideas when we're playing against that. So
we don't want the ball, do we, mate? We don't want possession of the ball. That's the fact.
In those situations,
because we don't have anyone that can do anything.
No,
with
but
it.
we don't want it, bro. The whole ethos of Jesse Ball is not to have the ball.
No, that's not
no,
true.
It is,
when
bro.
we have the ball, we attack straight away.
No, but this is the point I'm making. They want us to press, win the ball, and go straight in on goal. They don't want us to build up attacks. They don't, like Bielsa wanted us to build up attacks, you know. There's no build up for us. That's why at times it looks like kick and rush.
Yeah, so, right. We are not that far away in our valuations of what Jesse's done. Like, to round it off to the point where, like, I also agree that there's been games where we shouldn't have drawn that Southampton game. I get that, and all those games where we've been good for periods and then tailed off. I completely understand that, and I get frustrated too. I get annoyed at it too. Like, I'm not saying that I just love Jesse Marsh no matter what. I understand that he's had his failings so far this season. But all I think is I don't want to be like every other Premier League fan who just hates their manager and wants him out. Like, I just want to give him a fair amount of time. And what Lewis said about the next 6 or 7 games, like half a season is a very good amount of time to give a manager, especially because he's had a preseason at the bit of the end of last season. Half a season, I think we can then judge him and say, right, well, maybe we need to think about doing something different here if he's still not done anything. If we get to that halfway stage and he has picked up those 9 points and maybe we've got another win against one of the big boys, then you start to think, okay, well, this does seem like what we can expect from this season. Do you know what I mean? It's
even that I disagree. I think you need more than that. I think you need a full season at least, and even I'd argue more than a full season. I think everyone's head, and I know it's a results business, and I know you're not going to be given that anymore because of how much money is in the league.
Yeah,
but I think everyone's head of how football actually works has been completely skewed by everything.
I don't mean.
I think managers deserve, for a manager's philosophy and for everything to start to build and see the actual football they're trying to play. I think you should be given a year at least before you can actually start to expect to see what you should. Like, look at Arteta, man. That's what I said. The prime example. Everyone said he was washed and he was completely done. And a year and a bit after, look at him. Look at him now.
Yeah, so I agree. I agree, JT. Maybe I came across wrong then.
I know what you're saying makes sense. Because of the money in the game now. If half a season is quite generous. Even.
I don't even mean to sack him at that point. I meant like that's when the thoughts can even come into your head that we might need to start thinking about.
So you want to see that
so
he's doing a few things right, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that you'd get an idea at that point, and I would never want to sack him at that point because he has the rest of the season to then prove what he can do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, but at that point you can give a sort of judgment on how well he's done so far. But 8 games in, we're on the similar points to half the league are within 2 points of us. So, do you know what I mean? It's hard to judge at this stage.
If it gets to the point where we are on the same or less points than that we were at the same stage last season or from the same games, then the alarm bells ring in my head. Because all I think at that point is, hold on, we only stayed up by 3 points. So if we're actually doing worse off, and I get that the fixtures are different, that's why I said reverse fixtures as well as a different way to measure it. But even then, actually, that'd be worse if we were worse off now than we were at the stage last season, having had harder opponents last season. That's when the alarm bells ring for me. But as of right now, actually, we are 3 points better off now than we were last season, which is not much, but we stayed up by 3 points.
It's something.
Look, we're all right. We're all right.
You
need to relax. Everyone's going crazy. All right,
relegated, by the way.
I get why you
finish top half, no problem.
I really do get why you're frustrated, Joe, because we did start so well, and you can see the signs are there that we can play good football, and then we go and have a stupid mistake, concede a goal, and then it just all goes to shit again. And you're like, oh, why is it just happening again and again?
It's almost like
so frustrating.
We make that mistake, and we concede a goal, which it happens. That's football, right? But it's like we don't know how to pick ourselves back up after that or get back to where we were controlling the game after that. It's like everything, the whole system just collapses. And that's why
we concede, I disagree. Under
not
Jesse
after we
Marshall,
concede,
many games back.
I'm saying after we lose control of the game,
same as Southampton.
We can't seem to take control of it back. We can't get back to where we were.
Quite a few times last year, though, when we stayed up. That Wolves game specifically.
Well,
but I don't think you can even compare
Wolves
that
got a red card
now.
It doesn't matter.
No. I just think we need to overcome that thing of once we lose control, we don't get it back. And that's every game at the moment. And I think that's what's letting us down. It's almost like once we're out of the driver's seat, you know where the game's going to go. And they can sniff it as well. The opposition will sniff where it's going. They'll smell blood, and then you've lost. Palace, it's exactly what happened. We were so in control of that game. Southampton, we were so in control of that game. And that's
the other one that's pretty much exactly the same as the Palace game. We were just so in control on top. And then when they started to come back in, I think Jesse Marsh has to take a little bit for that, because for me, I'm not a Premier League manager, but if I'm it seems obvious to me that when a game starts turning and you can see that Southampton are in the ascendancy, you can see that Palace are in the ascendancy, is that not the time to make your substitutes rather than wait until the game's already gone and then making your substitutes? I mean, I remember us all complaining about that at the time for the Southampton game. The subs were just made too late. He hasn't tried to affect the game by bringing on substitutes and reclaim that power that Lewis was on about. We're in the ascendancy, we're the better team, and then it's gone. And he doesn't do anything to try and get that back personnel-wise. And that's the only thing he can do from the sideline, because he can't get on the pitch and talk to them. So I don't know. His substitutions have been lackluster for me.
Let me just bring in this super chat from the legend that is Smudge. Thank you for supporting the channel, and everyone in the chat tonight has been popping off. I've lost my temper a few times as well, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's football, man. That's football.
Yeah, it is. We need to stop playing narrow through the middle. I agree with that. Jack needs to be outside coming in. Cooper and Rodders on the bench. I'm not putting Drama left back. I don't agree with that. Pascal should be centre back. I agree. Sinisterra, Nonto, and result is Leeds 3-1. Let's go to the weekend and we'll go around then, Lewis. I want to know who your starting 11 would be and what the result is going to be at the weekend.
I mean, look, the starting 11 is the same, really, other than Cine comes back in. And the striker situation, which we haven't actually really.
Lewis? Who does City come in for then? For you?
Yeah, I mean, look, people are going to disagree with this. I think we need to keep playing Bamford because
it's the only way it gets rid of the rust.
And look, he is so rusty, it's unreal. But you've really got to take a step back and just think, look, he's played 6-7 games in 12, 13, 14 months. Man. It's ridiculous. The amount of game time he's played is nothing. So for anyone to expect him to come back and his first touch be sublime every time and him always to beat a man and he should have taken that one-on-one with his right foot. That was bad. Actually, do think the save was better than people made out, right? But there's no way.
Which one? The one with the outside of the foot?
Yeah, but he shouldn't have taken that off his left.
That was terrible, man. That was
terrible.
It
shouldn't have taken that off his left. It should have been right-footed. And
again, that's taking it closer.
It's a confidence thing as well. He's just rusty in all departments.
He got the wrong side of the defender. If he slows it down, if the defender comes in, he has to take him out and get a penalty. I don't know why he's taking it so early.
What I did like was the fact he didn't give up. You could see that he really wanted it. You could tell he was knackered and he still kept going on. And if he's got that drive in his head, the more fit it gets, the more match sharp he gets, he'll be there, man. Because the mentality's there. He could have easily said, right, I've blown a gasket, I need to come off. But he didn't do that once. He didn't give up once. He didn't stay on the floor once. He wanted it, really, but he wanted it for himself. Because look how many times he's come back and he's been injured again. You can tell how badly he wants it. So I think match sharpness-wise, he needs to keep playing. And I'm not for a minute saying tactically he's the best striker right now we could play. He's not the youngest. He's not the fittest, he's not the quickest. I get that, and people can argue that that's fine, because you might argue that we need someone who can actually do the job right now, because we need points right now. That's fine. But I'd start Bamford. I'd bring Sinistera back in for Rodrigo, and that's my starting 11. In terms of Harrison not playing in the centre and stuff like that, tactics-wise, I'd genuinely keep it the same as the start of Palace, and I just think there's not really.
Would you start Cine?
Yes, I'd start Cine. I'd bring Cine back in.
But you just said the same as Palace.
He said it apart from Rodrigo.
No, tactically
and
formation-wise.
Okay.
All right, let me throw this in there, because Aaronson, you said he hasn't performed well in the middle. We spoke about this again before. You guys said Aaronson hasn't performed well in the middle.
I didn't say that. A comment.
Okay, no, not a comment. As in, we literally spoke last week and the week before specifically, and about Aaronson not being good in the middle, and he's performed better when he's out wide. Does Klitsch not deserve a shot? Because we don't have any creativity through that middle. Is he not deserving of a shot? Is that not something that we should be speaking about?
He's been a lot better off the bench this season than he was at any point last season, Click. And I think, I just think, maybe that's
Can it be any worse than what we've had so far?
I was actually going to say that if Cine comes back in, I don't think Cine's a central player. So do you then put Aaronson in there? Because Harrison's not a central player either. So Aaronson would have to go in the middle if you did that. But then that means that, like you said, he's struggled in the middle, and I thought he did really well against Palace for the time that we were in the ascendancy. I thought Aaronson was doing really well, and obviously had that amazing run that resulted in the goal. But that was because he took the ball from out wide and came in. So maybe Click does get a go in there, because I think he may have earned it over what Rodrigo's performances have been like.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I think he at least, well, like you say, it can't be any worse. Obviously, it sounds harsh to drop Aaronson, and if you do leave Aaronson out wide, then you're dropping one of Sinistera or Harrison. This is where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
Now maybe you leave
But
Sinistera.
That's a good problem to have.
It's also not a problem. Yeah, exactly. It's what we spoke about the other week. It's depth.
Or we go through at the back.
For me,
change things up.
In a game like this, I can't see the harm in bringing on Nonto late on. For the last 15, we know that Bamford's not going to be able to play the entire game. I would like to see a bit of Nonto to see what he can do, especially because in a game where we're going to have to soak up a lot of pressure and go on the counter attack, somebody like Nonto is so fast and direct in the way that he plays. He will just get the ball and run at a man, or
what if
make
he just
those runs in behind. I don't think it will. But what
if he just made a bold decision and just said, right, do you know what?
I think a lot of people are calling out for it, aren't they? But I was saying it on my stream that I totally agree with what you're saying, Lewis, that people were in the chat saying that Bamford's dead rusty and he's not good enough. And I was saying, well, there's no way that you can get rid of the cobwebs and you can get rid of the rust without playing Premier League football. Like, training's not going to do it. You have to be in that first team, starting games and playing 45 minutes, 60 minutes.
Not going to do it, man. It's got a hat trick. It's got a hat trick in an under-23s game.
You have to do it in the first team to get that off, and there's no other way to do it. So
I don't know why he wasn't given a shot recently. Why has he not been given a shot these past couple of games off the bench? I don't get it. Why was he not given a crack?
I know. I kept asking for it. It seems to be like
I'm always asking for Willie,
different,
and he's just never there.
But nobody's seen him in the Premier League, so nobody knows what to expect. That's why some players can do so well in their first spell in the Premier League, is that people are like, oh, who's this guy? And you don't know how he plays particularly.
The Noah Beck effect.
Yeah, but...
Right, so who have we got? Like, we're going to play two up front, right? No?
What do you mean two up front? We've never played two up front.
Well, we
pre-season.
play striker and then a striker in behind, centre forward.
So that's a cam. That's what I mean. But they're not playing that. They're not playing striker behind. They're playing attacking midfield.
Mm. So, all right then. So up front, striker. We're talking striker, right?
Yeah.
Got Bamford, Joffrey. Is Joffrey available?
I think so.
Yeah, but Joffrey's not going to play. We're not going to play.
No,
Joffrey
I'm just saying. So I'm going to ask the chat question. Get the chat involved.
We'll get the chat. Well, who
Joffrey,
to start up front?
Rodrigo.
So it's Nonto, Rodrigo, Bamford, or maybe Joffrey. Joffrey, who hasn't performed recently.
Let's say
Joffrey,
we've got
who
all
for me
four
hasn't done
available.
enough to go shouting over Nonto.
And I just want to know the chat's opinion because I get Bamford's rusty as alt.
Well, go on. Let's see it then. One's in the chat if you want Rodders.
Nah, just put the names. Just put the names. Just put the names. Just put the names. Just put the names.
Nah. Well, all right. You know what? Let me just make it a bit spicy.
Go on.
If you want Nonto to start, put one in the chat right now. All right. I want to see some ones flying. If you want Nonto to start, if you think he should go bold, go big, go home. I think everyone wants Bamford, really. If we're being honest.
That's why I said names because I just wanted to see like who would be the overriding.
We could,
name.
Well, the overriding name is. Oh, mate, getting a lot of ones, mate. Getting a lot of ones, mate. Bit of Nonto in the starting 11.
And a 12 as well.
Yeah, 12.
It would be bold. Yeah, it would be bold. But
stop swinging, JT, doing my head in as well. Bloody hell, man. We've got it all going there today.
Somebody put Gelhardt over Rodrigo anytime.
Not
a 9 Bamford 10. Not a 9 Bamford 10.
Oh, I just broke my ankle. Not literally. Yeah, no, look, man. I think it would be cool. I think it'd be cool to completely splash it up and throw a cheeky bit of Willian onto it. And it can just be a complete change of anything. Nobody expects it. It gives us a fresh outlook. It'll be a completely different way of playing with a flipping 5'5" Don chilling up front. We're not going to have any height to go at them. That will be the problem. We're not going to have any height to attack them with, and defending set pieces, which is our big problem.
Yeah,
I do think Bamford should start. I think the contention comes in the middle with the creative player, like I said, but it is going to be hard to drop Aronson. Defensively, Cooper needs to go. This is the big change I'm making. The big change, I think up front, we already know we can sit here screaming, talking, shouting, whatever. Bamford, we all know he's going to start. Defensively,
he's got Rasmus, to start though, right?
Rasmus at left back for me. And Luke Ayling at right back for me. Because, look, man, like he said we're playing too narrowly. You saw Smudge coming in there saying we're playing too narrowly. It's because we don't have any attacking from the fullbacks. And I know it's a bit weird because Rasmus hasn't exactly been an attacking left back. But I don't really want to see Llorente starting. I don't really want to see Cooper starting. I want to see Stroik and Koch. I've been calling out for it.
We said that when Rasmus came in, though, that he could play.
We can. And we can't see Firpo. So the only solution I see is to put 2 attacking fullbacks in there and take the goddamn game to us.
It won't happen. I'd back that, but it won't happen.
Do you know what will happen this weekend?
What?
It'll be Llorente, Koch, Cooper, Rasmus.
3 at the back?
Strauch, yeah. I think he'll go.
No, but he won't do Stroik left back. If he does that, I think he'll put Harrison left back, wing back.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially, maybe move Strauch in.
I made this exact video last midweek saying that we could use this formation, and I suggested Harrison for that role, I think, as well, because I remember I said it on the Midweek Fix as well, I think, didn't I? That under Bielsa, he sometimes played on that whole side by himself, so I think he's capable of getting up and down. He's probably one of our fittest players. So
also, if Harrison plays that gets rid of the debate about having to drop one of Cine, Harrison, Aronson.
Yeah. Do you think that
does it?
Why does it not?
Because then who's going to be right wing back? Christensen.
Rasmus.
So then what do we have? We're still going to have the 2 holding midfielders of Aronson.
Yeah, so then you'd have
Adams
two attacking midfielders in front of those 2 holding, and then a striker up front like that.
Yeah. So
3-2-2-1.
No.
Yeah.
You got
3-4-2-1.
You've got Harrison playing. You got Harrison playing wing back.
Okay, but then that's exactly the same problem because then you'd have the 2 in front of them would be Aronson and Sinistera.
Yeah,
and then whoever's up front. So then it's still the exact same problem as in if you want to put a creative midfielder in there, then you're still going to have that problem.
So do you think it's worth at any point trying Sinistera as that central attacking midfielder? Because from what we've seen of him, the way he scored against Everton, running through the middle and just poking it in the bottom corner, his goal against Brentford, although it came from the wing, it was pretty central when he took the goal. I feel like he could be a little bit of a creative spark in there. I don't know whether it's probably not worth trying in this game. but it's a possibility that it could be tried at some point. He could be maybe the answer to a bit of our creative issues. It's worth trying things when you're struggling. Like, what else are you going to do?
Especially in a game that, and I know people hate this phrase, a free hit.
Free hit.
I know, but it's not a game. It's not a game that we shouldn't want to win, because you want to win every game. It's a game that no one's expecting us to win. The players should go in expecting to win, because that's the mindset you should have. But for us, when we're talking about team selections, for us on paper, it's a free hit in terms of trying out Nonto, at half time or whatever, or 20 minutes to go. Whereas if you play in the lesser teams, if you can even call them that at the moment, like Forest, for example, then you go, right, well, you need a system, you need to stick to it, you need a game plan, you can't mess things around, shouldn't be moving Sinistera into Cam and playing around, don't change what ain't broken. And yes, at the moment, it's not like it's completely intact, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. These are the games where really, on paper, you can experiment, or you have more of an opportunity to experiment, because it's not an expected win. It's more, I don't like the phrase free hit, to be honest, because it makes it sound like you have games where you shouldn't be going in to win. I get that. But you should be going in to win every game. You should want to win every game. But
it's about expectations, isn't it?
Yes,
rather than,
it's
about expectations from the fans more than anything.
Yeah.
Because Jesse Marsh will be thinking, I want to win this game, even if that means sitting in and waiting to hit on the counter attack, which is a perfectly valid way of playing, because teams have done that for years and done well. But the fans don't expect us to beat Arsenal, who are absolutely flying and playing some of the best football in the league. So they're not expecting much. So
I'll bite your hand off for a point.
Yeah. So if you then try something, I'd like to see Nonto. I don't understand why he's not been brought on at any point.
I think he's ready, bro.
But he's ready for 20 minutes at the end of the game just to see what you would have said.
Everyone keeps going, he's played at Italy.
But everybody's got to have their debut at some point. So when Joffy first came in, he'd only played in the under 23s, and so some people were saying he's ready, and some people were saying, well, he is completely unproven. So at some point he's got to come in and see what he can do, because you could bring him in and he could absolutely tear it up. You just never know, do you? So whilst we're in a moment where we're struggling to score goals, probably worth trying a player who's you've signed him in the summer as another striker. Obviously not what we wanted, but I don't know. Why buy him if you're not going to put him on at some point?
True. Well, we've discussed lineups, and yeah, I think we will go with three centre backs and the two wing backs. But to wrap up, because we've done nearly an hour and a half. I think it got very heated at times, but it's all emotion, isn't it? This is what football's done.
It's all love, brother.
It is all love, yeah, of course, never not. Let's get some score predictions then. I think we will lose, but yeah, we're going to lose. I think 2-0. We're going to lose. I hate to have to do it, but I think we will lose the game on Sunday. They're just too good at the minute. Max?
I think we're going to lose 2-1, because I think they've got so much quality that even though we could exploit some of the ways they play, they're just too good in terms of the actual personnel that they have. So I think we'll get a counter-attack goal, but ultimately they'll just be too good for us.
Yeah, which is disappointing. Lewis?
3-1 Arsenal, I think.
Okay, and I have left JT to the end because I'm hoping we might get a little something.
Yeah, well, I've been hoping we're going to do a little something for weeks. Unfortunately, we haven't been getting a little something. So unfortunately, to disappoint, we're going to get battered. We're going to get battered at times in the game, but we're still going to come forward and absolutely smash that icing, man. We're going to win 3-0. Yeah, we can. Let's bring it in. All right, let us bring it in. All right, let me shrink that down. We're going to absolutely clap them. All right. Yeah, sure, at times we've shown about as much class as a defunct primary school, but this is different. This is football heritage, all right? We are going to come for Jesse Marsh, like I said, when everything seems out and it seems done, he comes forward against the big dogs and he changes things up. Bamford, it's only a matter of time before he starts firing on all cylinders. Sinisostra is back and he is back in action. We haven't seen him against one of these big dogs. Yeah, he didn't play against Chelsea, but oh boy, is he going to go to London. He is going to feast, all right? He is going to beast and feast on him. Rocker and Adams in the midfield. A little bit tetchy at the back, all right? We're risky at the back, and they might get a goal. You know, I'm not lying. They might get a goal, but that's not going to change anything. I think we're going to win 4-1. 4-1, I think. I think 4-1. 4-1. You heard it here first. You've seen it here first. You can clip this up for all I care. 4-1. 4-1. Okay? Sinister's going to bag a couple. And I think Klitsch might get himself on the score sheet as well. And Nonto. Klitsch, Nonto, Sinister. Those are the goal scorers. Heard it here first. You've seen it.
Them three won't even start.
Lewis is gone, mate. He knows the facts are seeping through.
Now, listen, we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed JT's right, but I don't know. Listen, it's always a lot of fun doing this show. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the boys' channels as well. Lewis is in demand, isn't he? He's got work with BBC and all that, so he's got to shoot. We've got to shoot
BBC
as well,
in demand, all right?
Yeah, we've done nearly an hour and a half, so we shall leave it there. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll be back on Friday with the Premier League preview. These will have watch-alongs over the weekend, no doubt. I'll be doing
Johnson's
one on my
Paint Trophy preview.
There you go, JPT Trophy preview as well. So check that out, and we will see you on the other side, folks. Thank you as always for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire.